Hey guys, welcome to the Captain Jack Show. For now, as you guys all know, I'm the one manning the ship since our good old captain is doing a bunch of stuff to make sure that he can start going to those Raiders games coming this season. So in the meantime, I'm your host, Raider Transplant, Angelo Reyes. You guys can find me on Instagram at Reyes Boxing. And I'm really excited about tonight's show. First off, I want to thank all of you guys that continue to come every Sunday that I've hosted this, and all of you guys that are checking out that Wild Wild West show that we have on Wednesdays on the Captain Jack channel, where we get to talk about the four teams: Denver, Kansas, the Chargers, and then us. You guys, if you watched that last Wednesday, you probably saw it got pretty hot with me when they started kind of dissing Max Crosby a little bit. But I'll get into that. What I'm really excited about tonight, as you guys saw in the title, is we're going to be talking about the trenches. We're going to update you on exactly who we have signed, who we should sign, and what, now that we've seen the combine, there are some people that really stood out. And we're going to get into who stood out in the first day with the defensive tackles. We're going to talk about who stood out today with the offensive linemen. Wow. that was crazy how many good offensive linemen there were. But what makes me the most excited about today is I get to bring my friend on, who's a great supporter of the show, but he's one of the best people to talk Raider Nation football about. He's got his show, Protect the Shield. I love his motto. I'm going to let him say the motto, though. I don't want to steal it from him. A good friend. He's always talking great content. He's got the Raider Syndicate out there doing a bunch of stuff with the Raiders. I love all the people he's interviewing, from Hugh Jackson to last week, man. It was a fire interview with Mo Moten. But yeah, I want to bring an expert on today. I don't try to pretend like I'm some expert. I just have a lot of time because I'm recovering from liver transplant surgery, as you guys know, and I'm studying a lot of this stuff. So I'm trying to give you all Raider Nation the information. And again, for some of you guys who are new, the reason why I always wear the green Raider hat is because green is the color for organ donation. My life was saved because of a liver transplant that just happened 19 months ago. I only had less than 30 days to live. So just blessed to be alive and blessed to be talking to my amazing friend and all of you guys tonight. So thanks for spending time with us. And without further ado, let me bring on the man, the myth, the legend, the expert, Mr. Chris Kimber himself. Protect the Shield, baby. There's my guy.
On, man?
How you doing?
See, I absolutely love that intro, but I'm not worth any of that. I'm just glad to be on here with you. You are a true Raider fan. I love talking to you. You overcome some things that barely many people can overcome, man. So what I do to talk about Raiders, that's nothing compared to you and what you got going on. So I'm honored to be on here with you. I'm no expert, man. In fact, especially with this combines talk, you are the true expert. You hit me to a lot of stuff, man. So I'm glad to be on.
Well, I'll tell you what's always funny, and I'm always interacting with Chris, guys. So he jokes around that I'm always sending him like this. It's almost like a drug, right? These combine talks and all of these potentials, but it's true. I do get excited about the potential of it, and you and I both we're not that far in age, even though I'm a little bit older. You've been in America far longer than me, obviously. I didn't get here till 85. So, but in terms of like what we have been seeing in the combine and what gets everyone excited, what I don't like is all the different talk that ends up happening, Chris, where everybody just keeps saying the same things over and over again, right? And yeah. I want to say, for the record, is it not true that since you and I have gotten to be friends from the very beginning, dude,
you're the one. I already know what you're going to ask.
Months ago, when people were giving me crap about why I did not want to trade the farm for Jane Daniels, what did I say? We needed to build. I said we need to build what?
The trenches.
The trenches, baby.
I will say, even back before I got to that level, you were the first one. I love that you stood on that. And the only thing that I think me and you don't agree on is JJ McCarthy. I think everything else we're about aligned. We're pretty aligned. But I'm not falling back from the JJ McCarthy thing. I'm not.
Okay.
But everything else, you're the one, man.
No. I mean, what I'll say about the JJ McCarthy, and I think if we get some time later on today, I told you I'm going to give you a trade that because the Raider fans are so into wanting to go up for Jaden Daniels. Part of the reason why I'm so happy that JJ McCarthy did so well in the combine. I mean, the deep balls were on, man. And by the way, he showed up bigger than Penix. He was 220. So now I'm not saying, now again, I'm with you. I'm not saying we should draft JJ McCarthy at 13 because you know who my guy is. I've literally been saying it from the beginning. Oh, go ahead.
Like Fagua, right?
Yeah, Fuaga. Elise Fuaga, because originally
you like Murphy too, though.
Yeah, I do. Originally, I really thought Byron Murphy was going to fall in the second. So everybody kept thinking, like everybody kept talking about Johnny Newton. So I was kind of like, all right, that's cool. Murphy's going to drop into second, and no one even knows about this mini Aaron Donald guy that I like so much, right?
He's a beast.
But then he just did what he did at the combine. Now everybody knows. So, but Fuaga today, man, went nuts. I mean, he made everybody fall in love with him. So there's talks right now that Fuaga might go five to the Chargers. I mean, it's big talk right now that he might go to the Chargers. I still think it's going to be Joe Alt, but because they already have Slater, right? So who do you partner Slater with, Fuaga or Alt, right?
Yeah, Harbaugh loves the trenches. That's one thing about him. He does love the trenches. But then again, Harbaugh might go defensive line too, because you got to think more than likely. I think they're going to lose Mack, and I think that Bosa is questionable as well. I think they might realistically look at that D line too. Just depends.
And you know what? Like when you said that, like Bosa might have to somehow they got to get rid of him one way or another, right? I was thinking that too. I was like, man, at number 5, because Jared Verse looked amazing. Dallas Turner looked amazing. I mean, like Chop Robinson, dude, totally surprised me. I had Chop Robinson dropping like to the late second, and I was thinking, maybe we can get him into third or something, right? At 77. Man. But Chop moved up, bro.
Yeah. No, this is people got to realize this is a different style of football players that we're used to. Like these big boys can move, they're athletic. And honestly, I mean, the D line showed us that too. These guys are no longer just the big statues that just kind of maul people. Like these guys can run. They got agility. I like everything that I saw, and you can't go wrong with being in the trenches this draft, man. Like that's where it's at. It's a very deep draft for the trenches, and I love it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's why I want to bring the subject up. We'll talk offensive line first, because in a lot of the shows that I've been guesting on, right, and especially on those Wednesday shows where I have to talk to Richie Riche, who's the Denver guy, and then Alex Givens, who everybody kind of calls a smug because obviously the Kansas City Chiefs have been killing us, right? And then Robert Garcia, who's with the Chargers. We're just kind of bringing up information for everyone. But like last Wednesday, I got to tell you, Chris, you probably didn't catch it, but it got hot like 20 minutes in because there's all this Chris Jones. Yeah, there's all this Chris Jones talk. And then at one point, Alex Givens is like, well, I mean, he's probably the best pass rusher in the entire NFL. And bro, I just went off for like the next 20 minutes. I talked about Max Crosby. I talked about the stats. I talked about how this is crazy. You guys are like totally dissing a guy who we did him wrong. Like the Raiders did him wrong. But Max Crosby should have already won so many playoff games. He should have already won so many things. Yeah. And if you would have put Max Crosby in a team like the Chiefs and they didn't have Chris Jones, Max Crosby probably would have won more Super Bowls by now because he's that dominant. Which is why, Chris, remember when I kept arguing the whole we don't need to trade up to get to do the farm. And I kept saying the reason why is everybody is trying to match quarterback to quarterback with Patrick Mahomes. That's why they're talking about Caleb Williams all the time. But I've always said it's not going to work. Yeah, it's not going to work. I've always said we have the Patrick Mahomes kryptonite already. We've had it for 2 years. His name is Max Crosby. So we need to build around Max Crosby. And it was in your show, Chris. It was on your show. I want to shout this out. Protect the Shield. We did a 5.5-hour show with Captain Jack and you and Stu. And I asked Stu, I said, Stu, do you not agree with this idea that Max Crosby is the guy that we actually need to surround? When everybody's trying to support and surround a quarterback, I'm saying we need to support and surround Max Crosby, because look what we already did in Christmas. We're the last team to beat the champs, right? And that's what we got right now. Imagine what we could have if we had a lot of these pieces. So, you know, what do you think about that? Like because Stu said it would take a very advanced GM to think this way, to believe that by supporting Max Crosby, we got what we need to go after the Chiefs already.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The thing that people fail to realize, like if you look at things holistically, like yes, we're the last team to beat the Chiefs, but just think about not even just that last game. Think about the other games before that. We've been in dogfights with the Chiefs. Like the game before that, we had them on the ropes. We just didn't finish. And then the game before that, they beat us kind of bad. I think that was when that was last year when we had Stiddy and like a lot of players were injured. But then the time before that, that was when Devontae and Renfro collided. But it's like 3 out of the last 4 times we played the Chiefs, we've been on their ass. Like we had the recipe. We just got to finish cooking. That's all it is. And the last game we played them, you know, last game we played them, we finished cooking because we got help from the defense. ALC didn't play the best, but he didn't turn it over. So we had, like you said, we had the recipe of beating Mahomes. We just got to finish. If we can do that, and the way we do that is build in the trenches. Once you're up, keep fighting, but bully. You got to play that bully ball, man. Make that clock tick and keep that curly hair Kermit guy on the sideline chewing his mouthpiece looking crazy. That's how you beat them.
And see, that's exactly why I bring such a great expert on like Chris, guys. You see, it's like this makes sense to me, right? Like what Chris is saying, and Chris is an old school fan who understands. I mean, he went through, like I was watching the 3-hour show you guys did today with Raider Syndicate, and it was a great show. But you're right. Someone like Rundown, he's just so young, man. He kind of doesn't get it.
You don't remember all that.
You don't remember.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was there. I remember it, man.
Yeah, and one thing I want to bring up to all you guys who are listening tonight is when Art Shell took over for Mike Shanahan, it's kind of the same scenario. He took over as interim. People forget, because that was my freshman year of high school.
Yeah,
people forget that the very next year, Chris, Art Shell in his first year as full coach, we won 12 games, bro. And we were in the playoffs. And if it wasn't for us getting killed by the Bills, you know, shout out
the Bills were our kryptonite. The Bills were our kryptonite, man.
But yeah, they killed us, man. It was like 51-3 or something.
It was nasty.
It was nasty. I remember having to go I was going to Encinal High in Alameda at that time. I wore my Raider jersey and people were just straight making fun of me, like, yeah, see, your Raiders suck, man. He got destroyed. And you know, I didn't care, man. Raider starter jersey was still cool to wear back in them days. Still cool to wear right now. I got one. So but you remember that, right? Art Shell in the first year. So when Papa Rundown today, he said, like, let's not sleep on what we got. And I kind of think the same thing. Like, man, we have some pieces, and we could. It's wishful thinking, and some of you guys probably can think I'm crazy, but I think we might, man, win close to 12 games. I definitely think we'd go to the playoffs. What do you think? What's your projection? If we do everything right and we don't mess it up, what's your projection based on our coaches?
Yeah, so it's still hard because I got to see what we do this offseason, because we have to make some good decisions. So, but I think this will be the first year in like the last 8 years, or I forgot how long, because I think the last 8 games or 9 games we've split with Kansas City or whatever, or not Kansas City, but the Chargers.
Yeah.
I forgot. Actually, I forgot how
Yeah.
long, but
No. We did.
like the last 8 years or something.
Yeah, we've been beating that. We've definitely beaten the Broncos the last 8 years straight. Like they
Yeah, oh
haven't
yeah,
even.
yeah. We swept them, but
Yeah,
I
we
think the Chargers we've split it. So we've
split.
split
Yeah,
that. But I
yeah.
think this upcoming year will be the first year that we sweep them. I think we'll sweep the Broncos. Um, and honestly, I'm not gonna say we're gonna sweep the Chiefs. I don't even expect it, but the Chiefs are gonna be in a fight. I swear they're gonna be in a fight for both games. But I definitely think we're gonna be it's honestly I can't even put until I see what we do this offseason. I can't even put a record in it. I can't because
All right, all right,
'cause
all right.
it's just a true guess. I can't it
Okay,
won't even be like an educated guess, so I can't even.
okay, okay. I'm going to be fair, and I'll say that we're going to hit the double digit. We'll hit at least 10, and
No,
I'll
that's
tell you
fair.
why.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
That's fair.
honestly believe that with all of the turmoil we had to deal with this year, the fact that we were one bogus penalty away from making it to the playoffs, and you guys know which one I'm talking about, man. That was not an offside on Jack Jones. And this is my whole thing. This is why I know Turf would love me for saying this. Is I feel like we wouldn't even have this quarterback talk about AOC if we would have made it to the playoffs, because I think we were good enough to have won at least one game in that playoffs. I really do. I think at the time we were so hot, Chris.
We were hot.
We
Yeah,
were hot.
we had the momentum. We had the momentum.
We had the momentum, right? I mean, look at how we ended with Denver. Most teams are like, well, we don't got to play for nothing. These guys played like it was a playoff game, and we smashed them, dude. We were making a statement. So, I'm just saying that's why I think at least 10. But I wouldn't be surprised if AP does the Art Shell and wins his 12. That's all I'm saying.
People fail to understand the impact of having a coach that you will run through a wall for. People, I mean, it means so much. Like I know, Mike Lombardi and all that. They have their little thoughts on, AP, and I think ultimately some people think he's just a gimmick. But anyone that watched the Rush podcast when Max was sitting right next to AP on that couch, you could tell he truly respects that man. And Max is literally pumps silver and black through his veins, probably more than anyone that's been a Raider. And I love Woodson, I love Tim Brown, but as far as someone that truly embodies what a Raider's about, it's Max Crosby, because he's going to go out there and give it his all. His knee's going to be messed up. He's not. You literally have to drag him off the field. He'll be out there putting his body in harm's way for that silver and black, man. So, the fact that he respects AP the way he does and looks at him the way he does, that means the world to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And let's get to it. Let's talk about this, because I see a lot of you guys commenting already. I appreciate all of you showing up, man. I mean, it's the Normals plus Shield Squad, man.
Shield
the only
Squad
thing
in the building, baby.
Better right now is if Raider Syndicate all of a sudden started showing up. So I want to talk O-line first, because I hate having these conversations. It's like what I told you before about having been in the fight game, having been a high-level coach, being with Freddie Roach, being with the best in the UFC, the best in Bellator, right? I hate talking to people who don't know the sport.
Yeah.
So, when I'm talking, like, they're like, oh, you got to do this. It's like, do you even know who we have signed? So let me tell you guys right now who we got, okay? When it comes to the offensive line, so far, our unrestricted free agents that's going out there, I'm going to name them for you, Chris, and you tell me if you want to bring any of them back, okay?
Yeah.
It's Brandon Parker, right tackle, 6'8",
No.
28 years old.
No,
okay?
I know enough. I can't stand him. If you know anything about me, he is the one guy that I cannot deal with. There's absolutely no way. But I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Okay. So no Brandon Parker from. Okay. There's Ronis Grasu, center, 7 years, 32 years old. He's 6'3", 301. Here's the thing, man.
He's young.
Pretty good teacher. He's a pretty good teacher.
How old is he?
Pretty serviceable. He's only 32. He would be pretty cheap. He was a 3rd-round pick out of Oregon. In 2014, this was one of the big claim to fame on why people took him, is he was the best lineman for Oregon. And that was the year, I mean, I think they did pretty well that year, Oregon. But Ronis Grasu, and then he's married to that basketball player too. I can't pronounce her name. But,
he had some good snaps when he needed to come in. I think did Andre James get hurt, and then Parham may have came in and he may went to, but
it'll be cheap.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't mind seeing what else is out there.
Okay,
all right. I'm not married to him. I'm not married to him.
All right. How about Greg Van Roten? He's a swing. He can swing to any position. 34 years old, 9 years. A good veteran, though. Somebody who teaches good. 6'3", 305. What do you think?
So with Van Roten, I talked about this on the show earlier. I would keep him around for a cheapie, just because I like his nastiness, because I think overall our line is kind of soft, because someone like a Colton Miller, he's kind of passive, like just personality wise. You know, Parham's not too nasty. James, like if someone, like, I don't know if you remember which game, but I think someone hit Josh Jacobs late or something. Van Roten got in their face. Like he's like the Punisher, you know what I'm saying? Like he's like the enforcer of the group. So I think you need a guy like him around. So I'd bring him back on the cheap.
Okay, all right. Here's the two big ones. Andre James, center, 6'4", 300, only 26 years old. He's played 5 years. Here's the thing. I just want to throw it out there. He could cost up to $9 million. That's his top level.
No, I'm not giving him that.
Okay, no. But if it's what's the mark? Like, what are you willing to pay him per year? And if you're gonna keep him, you got to keep him long term. Now, you're not drafting those centers. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna draft the starting center if you get someone like Andre James. You're no longer going to free agency, right?
Yeah.
So, did you like what he did 2 years ago when Josh Jacobs ran almost 1,700 yards?
The thing with Andre James, like, he's perfect for the zone blocking scheme because he can move. Like, he's athletic enough, but he cannot handle power. So like the Chris Joneses of the world and God, I really remember the daggone, what's the DT? What's the big boy for the Steelers? Cameron Hayward. Was it Hayward?
Oh, no, yeah, Cam Hayward's son.
Oh, right? Man, yeah, he just pushed Andre James around like a rag doll. So like I always remember that. So like power guys, he has trouble. If he can get stronger, I'll think about it, but I don't know, man.
I don't know already. Like, that's so you can already tell from Telesco and from AP. One of the
6 million, man, 5 or 6 million. No way.
And then I'm going to give you some other options. That's why I want.
Okay.
On this first. Okay. And this is one of the things I really like about Telesco and AP. I think that they're yin and yang of each other, right? AP's kind of the hey, I'm gonna talk my shit, and then Telesco's like, I'm gonna be cool. But I think they agree on everything. But one thing is, they're not the type, in my opinion, to be wishy-washy on a pick.
Yeah, it's like
you're just gonna go get them and pay them, or they're not.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're already kind of like this with James, this is why I don't think they're gonna sign him. And I'm gonna give you some other options on what it'll be. Now the other one, and I really like this guy. I'm one of the people that have been saying on every show, of course you sign him. This is ridiculous. Jermaine Illuminor, right tackle, guard.
I'm going to sign him. I like Jermaine, man.
I like Jermaine too. Tell me why you like Jermaine.
Like, for me, I like Jermaine. For one, he doesn't shy down from competition. He's self-accountable. He understands, like, hey, I got to work on a certain part of my game. 2 years ago, he led the league in penalties. He worked on that part. I mean, he still had them brain farts every now and then. But I like Jermaine. And plus, but my thing is, I would probably push Jermaine in the guard. I've always thought he would be a better guard. He's more his body is more fit as a guard, just his size.
330, 6'4", only 29 years old. He's from England, played soccer, rugby, wrestling.
Strongest guy on the team.
Strongest guy in the team. That's why I like him. Max
Yeah.
Crosby and AP said straight up in
Strongest
the
guy on the
entire
team.
team, he's the strongest. And when you're getting that type of praise from both AP, who was a Super Bowl winning linebacker, and Max Crosby, man, you don't get rid of a guy like Illuminor. And by the way, guys, for all of you Illuminor haters, when you read any of the top free agent O lines, Illuminor's name always shows up. He's either number 5 or number 6. So why would we get rid of that guy? That doesn't even make sense to me, right? All right. So here's who we got. Who, you know, we have Jordan.
Hold on. Richie Rich said no, he's not. He said Mute is the strongest. For one, I don't even think Mute still Natane Mute.
Richie needs to stay at Denver or something.
Huh? Well, no, I mean he was. I thought he might be in a practice spot, but Richie, we're going by what AP and Max said.
Yeah, we're going by what's been publicly said. So
yeah, that's what they said.
So who we have that is signed is we have an exclusive rights kind of a free agency type deal with Jordan Meredith. He's 26. We still have Thayer Mumford. Did pretty good on the right side last year, right?
Well, no, he went to the. Wasn't he on the left when what's the name got hurt?
Yeah, he switched.
He played well on the left.
So 6'6", 315, only 24 years old.
Yeah.
He did play left tackle for weeks 14 through 17. That's why you're thinking of that. But he mostly was working off of that right side too. So he's versatile, man. I like that versatility. So we still have him signed. Then of course, you know, everybody likes Dylan Parham, right? Even though he's under 300 pounds, but Dylan Parham's still pretty good as he was a good pick. He's definitely overperformed.
For a third rounder, yeah.
Okay. He's overperformed, right? And, you know, left guard center, we keep him, obviously, because we still have him. He's only 24 years old. So things are looking up, right?
Yeah.
And on the reserves, we got, I don't know if you knew this, but we signed Ben Brown. He's a center guard, 6'5", 313. He's only 25 years old.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him.
I'm trying to remember if he came from Cincinnati, I think is where it was, but we have him on reserves. This is a funny one because Telesco was the one that drafted him back in 2013, but we still got DJ Fluker. Okay, we got him.
Yeah, we brought him back. You know what? But he always underperformed, but he always had that ceiling that I thought one day he was going to be good. I mean,
you never know, man. He's
a big boy,
32
man.
years old. His body's okay. He's only 32 years old. 6'5", 342. And yeah, Telesco picked him number 11 back in 2013. So there's that Telesco connection right there, too.
Yep.
All right. And then I don't know if you knew about these guys, but we have Jalen McKenzie from USC. He's only had a 1-year experience, 6'5", 315. He's not bad if you guys look at some of the tapes on him. But the one that Captain's always excited about is Dalton Wagner. Wagner from Arkansas,
size, man.
Right tackle, 6'8", 320, 25 years old. He was on the injured part. So he's still with us. So this is what kind of like what Papa Rundown was talking about is we got some pieces that's with us that we don't know how good they're going to be because a lot of them, there's about 18 players right now going to the facility, even though it's the off season right now. We don't know who those 18 are. It could be some of these guys. And then of course we got our captain, man. We drafted him. He's our guy. I think he should be a Raider for life. Colton Miller, left tackle, 6'8", 325. When you watch the combine today, they were comparing people to him.
A lot of people to him. Yeah.
That's how good Colton Miller is. So I think they'll probably try to restructure him again, get us a little bit more money, maybe extend him. Yeah. So, but that's what we have. So that's why, now free agency guys who are commenting, and please keep commenting. Our free agency status, what we have. So then when I start saying stuff like this, I want to get your reaction, Chris. Let's say we get rid of Andre James. Let's just say we get rid of Andre. Let's say, I'm sorry, man. We're happy you're going to go get your money. Someone else paying you $9 million. There's a dude by the name of Lloyd Cushenberry who Denver's going to let go. Pretty good with zone blocking, which is what Luke Getsy that's the way he does stuff, right? And he's not going to cost that much. I think he'll be under 5 if he's going to come to the Raiders. Not a bad get. A definite upgrade, in my opinion.
I don't know, because if you look at a lot of games when we played them, we used to terrorize him.
That's
Like
true.
one of my good buddies is a Broncos fan, and he can't stop it, or he can't stand him. He can't stand him. So I haven't watched him enough, but I do know that because he's been there for a while, right? How long has he been there?
No. So here's why this is so I've been waiting for who we were going to sign as an offensive line coach. And if you guys want to go back to 2 shows ago, on the first Sunday show, I covered every single coaching hire we had at the Raiders. And when we finally got our offensive line coach, James Craig, and then we ended up hiring Joe Milton kind of as like the supervisor to everybody, or Joe Philbin. Sorry, Joe Philbin. I didn't mean to say Milton. James
please no
Craig.
Joe Milton talk. Please no Joe Milton talk.
There's some people in the comment that love him though, but no. So when we hired James Craig, right away it's like, oh damn, people forgot. Or if you don't know, you might want to know about this. James Craig was the O-line coach for LSU when Joe Burrow was there, and on that year they won the Joe Moore Award, which is the award given to the best lineman. So the people that were on that was Damian Lewis, who's in Seattle, a guard, and Lloyd Cushenberry. Those were the 2 pillar people.
It could happen.
So that's what I was saying is those are 2 free agents right now, both the same age. They just went after, they're on their 4th year, so now they're gonna get cut for free agency. You got Damian Lewis, Lloyd Cushenberry. You could bring back that old James Craig O-line from LSU and get that going. That's a possibility. Here's another one for you. Jonah Williams, but you'll probably say that's way too expensive, right?
Yeah.
Way too much. Okay. Kevin Dotson from the Rams. You might say that's okay, but might be expensive. What do you think?
I think it'll be, but I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at bringing some vets in on the line. I'm not mad at that.
Here's the one that I really want, and I want to go all in on this guy, man. And I actually said it on Protect the Shield, I think 2 shows ago. I said Michael Onwenu, right tackle, right guard, Patriots. I wrote down that it's probably going to cost us like 20 mil, but I don't care.
He's still what, about 28?
26, 27. He's about to only turn 27. He's young, man. And they got to get rid of him. Or the Patriots, I don't think is going to sign him, because the talk is that the Patriots are going to go get Jonah Williams and pay him money, right? Which is fine, because I'm like, great. What I like about Michael Onwenu is he can play every position except center. No lie, man. He can do left tackle, he can do left guard, but it kind of helps us with who we're going to draft. If straight up, if after March 5th, someone like Onwenu is free, and then we get to March 11th, on that free agency fever, dude, I want Tom Delaney to open up that checkbook and be like, all right, Telesco, go get him. Go get Onwenu.
One thing we know about AP's gonna he wants to build a bully, man. So if he feels that this guy can play and be a bully, he will. I think we also need to keep an eye on what what's Luke Getsy gonna want. Is he gonna want his old what's his name from the Bears, the center?
Cody Whitehair.
Yeah, like I know there's been some back and forth about him. But I think Getsy at the end of the day, he's gonna want to build a bully too, even though most people forget that he's a passing game specialist. He just so happened had a good running game in the Bears, but don't get it twisted. Like he's going to bring us a balanced offense, and I love every bit of it.
Yeah, no, and again, I was high on the Luke Getsy hire, even when people were not, because I think if we never even first of all, I didn't think Cliff Kingsbury was going to work with us anyways, just because I think the ego's too high. And when you're going to work with AP, you got to work with AP, right? I think the difference is AP hired his son, DeAndre Pierce, to be the offensive quality control guy or whatever. But I really think he did that so that his son could kind of be the bridge communication between him and Luke Getsy, so that he's always up to date with what Luke Getsy's going to do. But you and I both know, Chris, that what he's going to tell Luke Getsy is, we're doing this offense through Josh Jacobs. We're going to run the ball and we're going to go ahead and push it forward. That's why I heard you guys today talking about Josh Jacobs And I'm gonna have a Josh Jacobs segment when we're getting closer to free agency. But you know, I love my guy, dude.
I know you love him, but you'll let him walk. I'm not letting him walk. I'm not letting him leave the building. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you this. I am actually one.
Shout out to my favorite Filipino.
Yeah, he is. So here's what I'll say. I'll say this. I'm kind of hoping if nothing works out between now and Tuesday, that all of a sudden we hear in the news Raiders are going to tag Josh Jacobs. Now I know it's 14 million.
Tag him? You'd want to tag him?
Now here's the thing. Here's all I'm saying is I don't want to release him to let someone like the Cowboys and Jerry Jones talk to him. Because honestly, man, look, Jonathan Taylor money is the mark. That's 14 mil a year.
Yeah,
I wish we can get him. Like, it would be amazing if we can get our guy Josh Jacobs for Aaron Jones money. So that's going to be like 10 a year, right? So, but he's essentially would be admitting that he's not going to be one of the highest paid running backs for the rest of his career because he's going to be a Raider, right? And that's a hard pill to swallow when you got someone like the Cowboys who's going to be like, we're opening up the pocketbook right now. We're going to sign you 14 mil a year, 13 mil a year. So I don't want to do that. I'd rather just tag them and be like, let's talk about it. Because Chris, the way it works, right, is if we tag them, as long as we can talk to them between now and July, we can still change all of it, right?
So you don't want nobody to tamper with them, basically.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. And again, I'm gonna do a whole thing on Josh Jacobs. I don't want to take too much time today about it, but he's the best Filipino player in the entire NFL, people. All right. He wears the Filipino flag on his helmet. I'm telling you, the Filipino community pays attention to it. His grandma's Filipino. His dad was born in the Philippines. You know, like he grew up eating adobo and sinigang and lumpia and the rest of it, man. This guy is one of us.
Richie Rich said more people need to try balut. No, I know enough about that. No, I would never try that. I would.
Well, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that little. It's like an embryo, man. It's like a little duck, man.
It's duck. It's like. All right.
It still got the beak on it and all that. No. I know.
Okay.
Now, adobo, I'll eat some chicken adobo all day.
Okay. All right. There's this on our Wild Wild West show on Wednesday. Richie Riche talked about, because he lives in Canada, Ontario. Talked about a dish that we have called dinuguan. Have you ever had dinuguan?
I don't think so.
Okay. If somebody ever hands you in a Filipino, because I think your girlfriend used to be Filipino back in the day or something, right? So. But if somebody ever hands you a dish and it's black and it's soupy with like pork in it, and they go, "Hey Chris, I want you to try this. It's like chocolate soup." Dude, taste it, because once you taste it, you'll be addicted. It's like the best thing you'll ever taste. Now, if I tell you what it is, or if you look it up on Google, you're gonna be like, "Damn," you know. But it's essentially kind of like a version of a Filipino soul food. It's one of the main dishes of a Filipino culture is dinuguan. So look that up, people, if you want to check it out.
I'm not eating a beak, though. I'm not eating a beak.
You're not eating no balut. No balut for Chris. You know, the whole thing with it back in the province is that you would eat balut after you've had enough Red Horse, which is kind of our like
beer. Yeah, that's a beer, right?
Right. So you have enough Red Horse. You're gonna sit there and you might try anything, man. You might try some balut. So. All right, enough Filipino cuisine talk, man. I'm sorry we got on a tangent there. So here's the other thing on what I was saying about the O-line, all right? And then we'll get off the O-line because of the combine today. Now, I don't know how much of it you saw while I was listening to you guys do the Raider Syndicate. I was watching the whole thing, and then I rewatched some of it. And I'm going to point out some high-level names here for you, Chris, that really showed out. Troy Fatanu, Washington.
Yeah, I know you like him. I know you like him.
Yeah, he did great. Cooper Beebe was really surprisingly good, man.
Wait, where's he from? Where is he from?
Kansas State, versatile guard. He could play any of the guard positions, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I saw him.
Amarius Mims, dude, was like 340. That guy was so good. Georgia tackle. Tyler Guyton, you've heard me always say Tyler Guyton.
I like him. I do.
Yeah.
I like him. I know my boy Rundown. He's not too big on him, but I like
Rundown
Guyton.
Rundown need to watch some of these tapes because Tyler Guyton was smoking everyone at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, I was about to say he looked good at the Senior Bowl. I mean, I saw him get beat a few times,
today.
but he did his thing.
Yeah, no, Tyler Guyton is great. I originally thought Tyler Guyton would hopefully fall to us like in the second, maybe the third. Now he's gonna go into first, man. He's gonna be a late first, but he'll go into first. So here's the big ones that I want, and I'm considering using that first pick one way or another. First guy, you already know, man. And Chris, tell the people that this is the guy I've been saying since like November, dude. Like it hasn't changed. It's just now everybody knows about it.
Yeah, that's been your guy. That's been your guy.
Dude is a beast, man. And he plays like a Raider. And when you watch him,
he's nasty. Yeah,
he's nasty. When you watch every tape, he's always trying to put someone down.
Yeah, he was killing them in the Senior Bowl. He was killing them.
The only penalties he was getting, Chris, during those tapes is because he wanted to hit the guy so hard.
Yeah,
like he would jump the gun.
Yeah,
that's teachable. But
a high motor. Yeah,
and check this out on the press conference at the combine. He said right away. He talked about the Raider interview, talked about how much he loved AP, right? And he said almost all his family are all Raider fans, and he would love to play. He would love to play for the Raiders, right? So Talisi Fuaga, man, right tackle. That's my dude. That's my guy. That's the guy that I'm like, why would we give up that pick? To not get this guy. Like, would you say that if we were to draft Talisi Fuaga, does that pretty much solve our money issues for the right side of our offensive line? Because we can start getting other pieces that'll help, but he could be right guard, right tackle. So let's say we sign Illuminor like you wanted.
Yeah,
we signed Illuminor for a hometown discount. He's right guard. Talisi Fuaga's right tackle.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. Yeah, so that's what I would do. I would keep him at right tackle. I would bump Illuminor in, and I think that will help. That will solidify our right guard for a while.
So would you hate if that was our number 13th pick?
No, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it.
All right. And I'm glad you said that, because now after today, everyone is saying he might go number 5. He might go number 7. Tennessee. He might go to Arizona, because you know how they got Paris Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Like Paris Johnson needs another person.
Angelo, but that's the thing. I keep telling you, even you, because you get overly excited. Just like we can't even say any of this until we see what happens in free agency. Then we can have a good understanding. I know we like to jump the gun, but we really don't. I mean, it's fun to do like, oh, he may go 5, but let's see what's still open after free agency. Then we can say, I mean, because honestly, like depending on what we do, like I could also make an argument D tackle is our biggest need.
Oh yeah, no, and we're gonna talk about that next. See, we got a whole another hour.
Yeah, okay, I'll wait for that.
Yeah, when we get to that side, that's why I want to go offensive first. Then when we switch to defense, we're only going to talk defense.
Yeah.
But I'm tracking what you're saying. I'm right there with you. So the other guy, and this was I sent you and you liked it. I sent you a draft I did last night. The way I did the mock draft was I said we'll just address quarterback at free agency. We could steal some people on the undrafted, but I'm going to trade down. And I traded down, and I ended up getting more picks, and I was getting you some good people, some good folks. But the guy I took in the first round is Jackson Powers Johnson, center.
He's
330 pounds. He could play a left guard. He could play right guard, but the man is a solid center. So imagine Jason Kelsey, but bigger and stronger, right?
And he looked good moving today. Like his lateral movement, and he got good hips and feet. You know, I'm a fan, and he looked, but he got hurt at the Senior Bowl, right? Like in the practices, didn't he leave?
Yeah, early? But I mean, he looked good today.
No, he did. Yeah, he looked real good today,
right? And he interviews great, right? Interviews fantastic. And the problem that we have, we're trying to win a division. Okay, so we're trying to win our division. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll beat Denver, right? Sorry, it's just the truth. Denver's in trouble. They're going to be in cap problems. They got the whole Russell Wilson problem. Heck, Russell Wilson might even end up playing for us for like 1.8 million. So, they got problems. We're beating Denver. Like Denver, I'm sorry, you're not beating us this year. That's 2-0. Okay. Chargers, I like Harbaugh. And you love Harbaugh because that's your dude, man. You know Harbaugh better than anybody. Okay. But you told me this. It takes a long time for Harbaugh to build a program. It's not automatic. So do you honestly believe that he can do with the Chargers what he did with the 49ers and be a playoff team right off the bat? Because they're in cap hell salary, man. They got to get rid of Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Joey Bosa. So I'm going to let you go. You tell me. What do you think about that Chargers situation?
No, Harbaugh, I like Harbaugh. What he had in San Francisco, he already had a good nucleus on that defense. He was just able to get the most out of a Colin Kaepernick at the right time, and he was able to, catch lightning in the bottle and get it going. So, but I think with this situation, he's going to have problems trying to build this Charger team the way he wants. Because again, the cap situation, they're in a bad cap situation. And again, he likes the trenches. So I don't think Khalil Mack's gonna be there long term. Bosa, I mean, a lot of those key guys, I mean, a lot of people they got injury concerns. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of work, man. It's gonna be a lot of work. And even on offense, I mean, you got Justin Herbert. I think he's underrated. I think Justin Herbert's a phenomenal quarterback. Honestly,
I wish we'd have drafted Justin Herbert back when we had a chance.
Yeah. Like I'm not even gonna, I'm gonna be real. I think Herbert's gonna be fine. Keenan Allen's good. I don't know what they're gonna do with.
You might have to let him go though, right? They might have to let Keenan Allen
go. That's
what
I'm saying. That's like really the Chargers are in a bad situation. And it's going to take a while. Now, if Harbaugh can make this team good in like a year or two, man, he can walk on water as far as I'm concerned. I don't think he'll be able to, but I'm not worried about the Chargers. I'm not worried about the Broncos.
Thank you.
It's us and the Chiefs, man.
There it is. So now, thank you for saying that. And by the way, thank you for saying the Khalil Mack thing, because if we have time at the end of the show, you're gonna love my whole trade scenario later. It has to do with Khalil Mack. But when I think of us getting to that 10-12 win game, the one person we're gonna have to stop is Chris Jones. So unless Chris Jones gets signed by Detroit because they offered him $150 million with $100 million guaranteed or something crazy, and he comes back to the Chiefs, I need someone who can man them, weight, strength, youth, size,
at least neutralize them.
JPJ, baby. Jackson Powers Johnson, even in his rookie year, will at least be a better option for us than Andre James.
Oh, for sure.
Than Lloyd Cushenberry, right?
Yeah.
So when people keep thinking I'm crazy, I'm like, I wouldn't.
But what round though? What round?
In the first round. Remember what I did was I traded down.
You want to trade back? You want to trade back?
And here I'm gonna bring it full circle to JJ McCarthy for you, baby.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, here we go. Here's what's gonna happen, right? Let's say it ends up being Williams. I think Daniels. If Washington is smart, they should go get Daniels over Drake May.
Drake May.
Yeah, over Drake May, right? But they won't. They're gonna go get Drake May, or they're gonna do something with that pick. So let's say we go Caleb, Drake, and then let's just call it New England takes Daniels, right? McCarthy is rising so much, dude, and he looks so good, and now everybody's starting to see it. At 13, if let's say Peyton does something dumb like picks Bo Nix at 12. And I'm only saying that because I'm not that high on Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is a second-round grade. I'm sorry, man. He didn't look that good to me at the combine. So that's just me. That's my personal opinion. If I had a choice between Penix and Nix, I'd take Penix all day. And I still wouldn't even do that, right? Neither one of those guys to me are first-round grades. But J.J. McCarthy is being sold as a first-round grade.
So you'll dangle that carrot? You'll dangle that?
I'm going to dangle that carrot if Peyton doesn't bite. And I'm going to be like, who wants McCarthy? Right? Now I'm trading down. Now I want you to think about that though, Chris.
No,
Somebody wants McCarthy.
if somebody would do that, I'm down.
Okay. See, and that's why I'm saying let's Raider Nation, man, let's talk it up. Let's talk up how great JJ McCarthy is so that we can do something about it and actually like take our pick, make it multiple picks so we can get more talent. And then that's it. Because that's what I did on that draft that I sent you, where I took Jackson Powers Johnson first. I traded down. I got Jackson Powers Johnson. So anyway, that's my whole thing about him is I need someone that can stop Chris Jones. And unless Chris Jones leaves the Kansas City Chiefs, that's like, it's kind of like when Shaq was around. Yeah. You know how other teams were like, well, we're going to, even though you're not the best player, you're a good enough defensive player. And remember the first year that you really saw it was Dikembe Mutombo. Remember the 76ers got Dikembe because they're like, he's the guy that's going to stop Shaq. Now, he didn't stop Shaq.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the idea. So that's why I want Jackson Powers Johnson. But anyways, we're going to go on to the second half of our segment. We're going to talk about the defense. All right.
Okay.
So just as a reminder, and again, shout out to everybody who's on, man. I'm having such a good time with Chris. I'm forgetting to shout all you guys out. But first of all, Raider Rundown, man, Raider Syndicate. You guys are awesome for showing up. Love the Shield Squad. Thank you guys so much. I'm just trying to give you guys info. I'm not as good as Chris at this. I'm just having fun with this all.
You're doing great, man. You're doing better than me. You're doing great.
No, get out of here. All right, stop, man. Stop. Oh, Chris. All right, before I tell the picks again to everybody. So I brought this out. I'm wearing my Bono shirt today because Chris, that's the guy that got me into it. Tecmo Bowl all the way, baby. And then I started loving the Raider Nation forever. But remember I told you who my dude was when I was starting to get to go to them games at the Coliseum growing up in Alameda?
That's my boy. That's my boy right there, man.
I've had this jersey, been wearing it for years. I always used to defend him. Like, man, Darren McFadden actually on the Filipino channel. So I don't know if I told you this on Protect the Shield, Chris, but in 2010, I helped bring 2 world champions to the Raiders for like their Filipino Heritage Night. One of them was Manny Pacquiao, right? I helped put that together. So I got to be on like the 50-yard line. But during the interviews for the Filipinos, Darren McFadden was like, "Happy Filipino Day!" Like after we won.
That's fire. That's fire, man. I love that.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I have to bring out the Darren McFadden shirt because that's Chris's guy. That's my
boy. I love me some McFadden. That's my guy.
The picks that we have for everybody who's listening, we have the number 13, number 44, number 77. Our 4th round pick is number 113. Our 5th round pick is number 147. So we ended up like losing our 6th, but we got a 6th back. And the 6th round pick that we have is number 210. So it's a little bit later, but it's from the Chiefs. Okay. Yeah. And then
that was for Farrell, right?
Yeah. And then we don't have our original 7th, but we do have 3 7 picks. So some of you guys who are mock drafting out there, I just want to let you know you're doing it kind of wrong. You got to pick the program that shows you the 3 7 round picks that we have. So here's what we got in the 7th. We got number 221. That's from New England. We have number 225. That's from Tennessee. And we have number 227 from Minnesota. And what I like about that clump right there, man, is those are going to be our like sleeper choices right there. And we can pick off people that like no one even thought could be good, right? That's like 3 Brock Purdy's in a row that we could get possibly.
Some projects, yeah.
Some projects. So, but I'm going to go on to the defense. All right, here we go. Some defensive people. Currently, what we have signed, Chris. This is the people that we got. Like them or hate them. I want to hear what your thoughts are. What we got. Oh, let me tell you the free agents first. There's only 3. Okay. Adam Butler. You want to keep him or let him go?
I like Adam Butler. I like Adam Butler. Yeah.
Okay. So keeping Adam Butler, defensive tackle. John Jenkins.
I like Jenkins too. I ain't gonna lie. I like Jenkins. Older? But I might let him walk depending on what I'm looking at. But out of the 2, I'm keeping Butler. But I do like Jenkins.
Okay. So let's say we're able to sign them both. Because again, right now everybody wants to play for AP, man.
Yeah.
Like the Raiders was the most relevant team at the combine. They had players screaming Raiders. Like it's crazy how many people want to go to the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
So let's say we keep those two. How about Bilal Nichols? He's a free agent.
Bilal can go, man.
He's
Bilal
out.
can go. Yeah.
Okay, you heard it from
go.
Protect the Shield.
He can
Bilal
go, man.
Nichols is out.
Shout out to him, but I'm not.
He's out. Okay, all right. Here's who we do have. Okay, Byron Young, defensive tackle, Alabama.
I'm not
we have him no matter what.
I know, but I'm not and I hope I'm wrong, but I didn't necessarily like him on draft day.
Okay,
I hope I'm wrong.
I
do hope I'm wrong. He's a Raider, so I support him, but
okay, we got him cheap anyways. So anything can happen. We got him cheap.
He was a third round pick, right?
Yeah, he was a third round pick. Yeah. Okay. Nesta Jade Silvera. He was a 7th.
I like
defensive
Nesta.
tackle, Arizona.
I like Nesta, but he needs to get going. But I like getting him because he got that nasty streak about him, but he has to perform. So I mean, I put him in the mix to compete for a spot.
Okay,
but he's got to perform.
All right, here's one that you might hate me for saying, but we'll see. Neil Farrell, LSU. He's still there.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not?
No, he's with the Chiefs. We traded him to the Chiefs. That's why I thought that's where we got the pick from.
Oh, that is what. Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Matthew Butler, defensive tackle, Tennessee.
We don't got him no more either.
Oh, we don't got him either. What the fuck?
I think we got rid of both.
So
those
Farrell
guys.
is gone.
I think we cut Butler, and I think we traded Neil Farrell to the Chiefs.
The Chiefs to get the pick. Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Protect the Shield on. He's the expert at this, people. All right, but we do have this guy, and he did play last year, and he was a Telesco first-round draft choice, Jerry Tillery, defensive tackle.
Oh, yeah, we do got Tillery.
Big boy, man's the middle still. We got him.
Yeah, I mean,
we could trade him, but we got him. We definitely have him for at least a year.
No one would kid. I mean, because he's. I mean,
not costing.
He's one of those guys that he's just gonna have to make some noise in camp. I mean, but he will be. He could be a cut candidate. I will say that he could be a cut candidate.
Okay, all right. I was feeling the Telesco connection there, maybe.
No, like I mean he could. I mean he could. He could.
And then you know anything about this kid, Marquan McCall, defensive tackle, 6'3", 345, 24 years old, Kentucky.
Yeah, that was a guy that we got like recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was on that reserves kind of a thing.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, honestly.
Yeah. Maybe some of you guys could start looking this kid up because he's 345. He's a pretty big dude.
He's a big boy. He is a big boy.
He's a big boy. So then here we are at defensive tackle, right? You know who we got signed, and you know this is a big one that we need. I'm glad that you said you want to keep Adam Butler, you want to keep John Jenkins, let Bilal Nichols go. So free agency tag has to happen by March 5th. I think Leonard Williams is going to get tagged because why would you trade away a second pick to get him just to let him go? So, but Leonard Williams, if he wasn't tagged, are you, Chris, talking to him? Are you trying to get him to be with the Raiders? Because it's going to cost you 15 to 20 million. Might even be more, depending on the market, but 15 to 20 is what I have him listed for.
I do want him because for one, he wants to be a Raider. I think he'll take a discount. For one, to be back with Patrick Graham. For two, to be with he wanted to be a Raider on draft day. So I want him. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. Wow.
Yeah,
okay. So
I want him.
If we can get him for like 15 million a year because they didn't tag him, you're in. Right. I think the high for him was 20 million to come to us. He might cost more for someone else, but I had him at between 15 and 20 because he wants to play with us. He wants to be a Raider. But this is also one of the ones where I'm telling you guys, you know, it's stupid, dude. It's a stupid move for Seattle to trade a second round pick to get him and then not to tag him. Like that's dumb, you know? So I think they're going to tag him and then try to do something with him.
But the thing is, but don't they got some other tag candidates though? If I remember right.
They do. I don't exactly know who it is, but I'm just saying, man, letting Leonard Williams go. You already know that if Leonard Williams is March 11th, Leonard Williams on midnight is free. The Raiders is the first call.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, you want to come play for us? And then he's gonna be one of the guys.
Yeah, cause I don't think the Seahawks are in the best. They actually might be in decent.
Yeah,
actually, they might because they're
Geno
getting rid of Russell
too. Geno Smith just restructured his contract.
Okay, because I know DK still making money. They actually might be in decent because they absolutely killed Denver in that trade. So Seahawks might be in a decent calories. I don't know off the top of my head though.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. Let's say Leonard Williams isn't available. This is the big one that we were talking about on. We've been talking about every Wednesday.
Wilkins?
It's Chris. No. Wilkins is who we're going to talk about. But okay. Chris Jones. Chris Jones is still out there. And here's my whole thing. What would you hate me if I was the GM and I wanted to just do this because it's a win-win scenario? I'm going to offer Chris Jones enough money that doesn't hurt us, something like 3 years, 90 million with 70 million guaranteed.
You're trying to up the price. You're trying to up the price for Kansas City.
So it's like, it's not in it's like, because the way I was thinking is worst case scenario, he actually takes it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you took that deal? Okay. Right. But, would you hate me for offering that sheet out just so that I kick it up?
Oh no, teams do that all the time, man. They up the price knowing that they have no interest. But Chris Jones would be great, but he's not gonna leave. Like, why would he leave? Honestly, if I was him, I wouldn't. He'll still get a bag.
When you say a bag, are you willing? If you're Chris Jones, pretend like you're not Chris Kimber, you're Chris Jones, and they just looked at you and they said, "You want to win that third one, right? Or you want to win that fourth one with us, right? And we want to be the best in the world, right? So we're gonna give you 20. You're gonna only be in that 25 million range for the next 3 years, because the Aaron Donald money is the 34.
I think he takes it though. I think he takes it.
Wow,
I do. I mean, just because. Well, for one, I think the Chiefs are going to give him what he wants, because you got to remember early in the season when they didn't have him, he was holding out. I think it was against the Jets or whatever. They knew. They were like, "Whoa, we need to bring this boy in." I think
it was Detroit, right? He did.
Not Detroit. Yeah, it was Detroit. Yeah, and like you could definitely tell he wasn't there. So I think they're gonna give him the bag. And plus I think he likes being there. I mean, he's a man there. He has ring. If I was him, I would, if I need to take a couple million off to go.
It's not a couple million, man. It's like 10 to 12 million per year. Chris Kimber, who has a family, who's the best in the world at defensive tackle, is being told, it's like saying, Shaq, we love you, but we ain't going to pay you. What did Shaq do? He went to Miami and won a title.
Yeah, but it's something about knowing that I don't know. If I was him, I mean, he actually said, didn't he say he wanted to stay?
Oh yeah, he was drunk at the parade.
Oh, was he? Was he drunk? Oh, okay.
He was like,
I remember reading the headline.
He was doing the whole Wolf of Wall Street. But come on, man. Because if you guys check out the Wild Wild West shows, the past ones, it's every Wednesday at 4:30. You can check it out here at the Captain Jack channel. But I was saying, and every time I talk to the Chiefs guy, I'm like, dude, Detroit, they want to go all in. And they got the money to go get Chris Jones. And people forget that Tyreek Hill had a deal with the Chiefs, but Miami said, we're not messing around. 77 million all up front, guaranteed. And what did Tyreek do? Tyreek wanted to stay with Kansas, but then he was like, but come on, man, I can't turn that down. So you're really going to turn down, even if you're Chris Jones, you're really going to turn down a guaranteed higher level money just so you can be with the Chiefs?
I mean, you
must be making some side money on the popcorn and soda.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think, I mean, ultimately, it's all about what his true ambition is at this point. Do you want? I mean, you already won some rings. Maybe you want to go get the bag now. Who knows? Who knows?
Okay, all right. Here's one, but he's injured. DJ Reader. He's got that torn quadricep though.
Yeah, I'm not too big on him.
Even 15 to 20 million. So
Yeah.
we don't get a chance to get Leonard Williams. Chris Jones isn't available. You wouldn't go after DJ Reader. You looked pretty good when he wasn't injured, Chris.
Yeah, but what's his market? What they say his market rate is?
15 to 20 million is what I think we can get him for. And I think the reason why is he would want to play for the Raiders, but he was injured too. And he might not be able to start right off the gate. So we're probably starting.
I don't want no more of those, man. I don't want no more of those. Yeah, I need somebody. I need somebody that can come in and just play, honestly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
The guy that I really wanted, but I already know we're not going to get him, is Justin Matabuke, but they already said they're going to tag him. So the reason why I mention it tonight is because that means Geno Smith is going to be free. And just pay attention to what happens to Geno Smith, because he'd be an amazing Raider for us. Geno Smith, the safety. I'm talking about Geno Smith, the safety for the Raiders.
Yeah.
All right. Here it is, Chris. Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle, 29 years old. The minimum, Chris, just so that you know.
Care. I don't care. I don't even know the number. I don't care.
You don't care?
He's a man.
He's one of those guys that it's going to start at the bidding for him is going to start at 20 million. And then I think it can go up. Then this is what I was telling you about Chris Jones. Imagine if the Raiders did say, you know what, Christian Wilkins, 29 years old, we got you, man. We'll pay you close to 30 mil a year. You honestly think Chris Jones is going to be okay making maybe less than Christian Wilkins?
Maybe not. I don't know, man. Honestly, I want him. I do. And honestly, but to me, it's all about, it's like the big pit. It's all circular, man. Like it starts with what we're going to do at quarterback. And I know I'll said it earlier so much. And I know like even my supporters on my channel think I'm crazy, but if you can get a Russell Wilson for $2 million, man.
I agree with you.
That opens
so veteran minimum is 1.8.
Huh?
Yeah, 1.8. It's 1.8 million. And what would happen is Denver would have to eat 37 million to straight cut
2
him.
years, right? Yeah.
No. So that's why they have to cut him. So if they don't, if they keep him, they got to pay him that next 39 million for next year.
Yeah.
But if they just go, fine, forget it, man, you're out. We're cutting you. So it's like the Jimmy G thing. Like, even though when we cut Jimmy G, we still got to eat 17.8 million. Like, people got to remember that. When we cut him,
we don't have to pay him.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's better if we could trade him somehow. But I'll talk about that a little later. But that's the whole thing, is that with Christian Wilkins, someone like him, it could get up to closer to that Chris Jones money.
Yeah,
and if you can offer it to Christian, let's say you offered the same money to Chris Jones, you offered to Christian Wilkins takes it. You really think someone like Chris Jones isn't going to be pissed that he got the offer, but he said no, and Wilkins got it, and then he's saying, see, that's why I'm saying I'm just playing the game.
Yeah, it's hard to play those, because again, you don't know what guys would really take. I don't know. I think I really do like I really do like Wilkins though. I really like Wilkins because he's just nasty. He's relentless, and like him next to Matt, because he has a high motor too. I mean, to be a DT, he has a high motor, and you get him next to Max. It's like it's not even fair. It's not even fair, man.
I'm telling you, like fair. I fell in love with Christian Wilkins when I was watching Hard Knocks. And not so much how he played, but like what he was doing on the field.
He's crazy. He's nuts, man. Like I remember watching him in Clemson, like, because that's back when they had a great defensive line. That's actually when Cleve Farrell was good in college. But he was insane. Like Wilkins was insane. Just the way he used to penetrate, man. And it was man. I'm all for him.
All right. I love it. I love that you're all in on Christian Wilkins. All right. I like that we're recording all of this because then we get to go back and see what happens on March 11th. That'll be cool. Okay, so then I'm going to talk to you about the draft. And
Okay.
man, I was on this. Surprise, surprise. Who I thought was going to be our number 2 pick, he moved himself up. And again, man, all you guys got to do is go back to the Protect the Shield channel. I was saying it before people were even talking about it.
You were early in the game. You were early.
Early in the game, I said he is mini Aaron Donald. I even had people telling me, "Oh, I don't know, man. It's kind of small." I said to Chris on his show, 5-hour show, I said, one-on-one, nobody beats this guy. This is a mini Aaron Donald, one-on-one on a pass rush. And the way I imagined it is the NASCAR, man. I was like, if you put him next to Tyree Wilson, who I kind of agree with Papa Rundown, he's a little bit like Javon Curse in terms of no, I'm not talking right now, Chris. I'm not talking right now. I'm talking the ceiling. If we develop this guy, he looked good at Texas Tech, man. You got to look at them Texas Tech tapes. He looked really.
We're talking about really Javon Curse. Like anyone who really remembers Javon, that's crazy.
No, he was a freak. He was a freak.
Yeah, he was like way beyond his time. Like
way beyond his time. I get it.
Javon Curse was ridiculous, man.
No, I know. I'm just dreaming.
Okay, I get you, but that's a big reach. That's a big.
But let's just say next year Tyree Wilson even has a decent year. But you got Tyree in the inside, then you got Byron Murphy on the inside, Max and Malcolm Kuntz on the outside. That NASCAR is nasty, man. Kuntz is fast. Kuntz is fast. Yeah. And now there's no more triple teaming Max. So Byron Murphy, Texas, ran the 40 and 4.87. The split was 1.69. 6'1", 297. You like him. I like him. So the big question for tonight is, do you like him at number 13?
Who, Byron?
Yep. Our first pick. It comes to us. We lost Fuaga. We're not thinking about trading down to get Jackson Powers Johnson because maybe we already re-signed Andre James or we addressed it in free agency. So here's our pick at defensive tackle, number 13. You taking Byron Murphy, you let him go.
But I gotta ask you, what did we do with Leonard Williams and Wilkins and them?
That's what I'm saying. Is let's pretend that we ended up addressing. So this is the always the question, right? What did we address in free agency, offense or defense? So in this defense scenario, we addressed
the offense.
The offense. So we signed Unwenu.
Okay.
We ended up signing whoever, like Cushenberry.
Oh yeah.
Andre James.
Yeah, then you gotta get him.
There's no one else you would want because you know how you hear people talking about, oh, you can't pass up on a kid like Terry and Arnold. You can't pass up on JJ McCarthy. You can't pass up on.
I do not want a corner. I don't. At least no time soon. The question is, do I feel that would I have to get him at 13 or could I trade back and still get him?
You are not getting him at 13. No, dude. Because all right, let me tell you something right now.
I'll do it. I'll get him at 13.
Okay, you get him. All right. And the reason why I say that is Newton lost points on the combine this week because of the foot fracture and he didn't show up. And people are visual. Like, look at how everybody's talking about Braden Fisk. Okay. And I'm going to talk about Braden Fisk in a second from Florida State University. He was the fastest running defensive tackle at the combine. I had him as a 4th rounder that we might have gotten maybe 4th or 5th. That Angelo dude just rose all the way up to the 2nd because of the combine, right?
But that's you guys that love the combine. I'm telling you, on draft day, I don't think he's going to move up like you think. All right. I don't.
All right. So here's okay. I'm glad we're on to Braden Fisk then. I'm going to stick on this. Yeah. Braden Fisk, FSU, fastest guy in the combine, 4.78. His split was faster than Byron Murphy's, 1.68. 6'4", 295. He's basically pushing 300, but he's pushing 300 and he's that fast. Now, here's my argument to you on why I definitely would take Braden Fisk in the 3rd round, number 77, because I think if we pass on him in the 3rd, we're going to lose this kid. Jared Verse. You think Jared Verse is as good as he is without Braden Fisk? Braden Fisk helped make him that good. Imagine Braden Fisk helping Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz.
Yeah.
The FSU guys edge look good. They do, but mainly because Braden Fisk looked good down there, which is why I'm just saying, like, if we lose on Murphy and then we lose that second round and we don't get defensive tackle, man, we better get this kid, Braden Fisk. So I'm just telling you, man, you got to look at the FSU tapes.
Yeah, I'm about to say I got to look more at him, but it's just I just can't fall in love at the like I think I just programmed myself not to fall in love at the combine for this reason, because the reason is because I think back at who were some people in particular, PJ Hall. Remember PJ Hall? People like PJ Hall, who we got. He had a good combine. Bruce Campbell back in the day, that offensive lineman who ran like a 4.6 and he was like a muscle bound.
No, I hear you.
But then he gets on the field and he couldn't bust a grape, man. So it's like I try my best not to get too. But let me watch the film on some of them guys, and I can give a better.
All right, okay. Because my argument to it for anyone who hasn't watched film yet is when you start talking about the edges for FSU, and then you talk about Jared Verse. Jared, okay. Chop Robinson is really good. How good would Chop Robinson really be if Braden Fisk was in the middle?
No, that's
you see what I'm trying to say?
No, right? I get it. I get it.
Okay, so, but again, I still have Braden Fisk at the highest, us picking him third if we pass on everybody. Anyways, here's the other one, though. Let's say you passed on Byron Murphy, okay? But I don't think Byron Murphy goes before 13. I really don't, because if somebody picks up Byron Murphy before us, that means we're going to get a chance to get Talise Fuaga, right? So, or JC Latham or something, right? But
he was good today too.
Yeah, JC Latham. He was moving I turned you on to JC Latham, remember?
Yeah, he was moving on. He was moving very well to be as big as he is. He can move.
You know what I love about him? And I did rewatch the Michigan tape, like you told me, where he got destroyed. But overall, his run game production is amazing, dude.
Yeah,
JC Latham.
If he gets his hands on you, you're not going nowhere.
It's over.
You're not going nowhere.
So speaking of if he gets his hands on you and you're not going anywhere, in the second round, number 44, I've always mocked this. He always falls, and I think he still will, to our number 44 pick, T'Vondre Sweat, Texas, 6'5", 370. He ran the 40, 5.27.
Yeah,
that's a 400-pound man running in 5 seconds, man.
No, I like Sweat. My only issue with Sweat is he's only a 2-down player, of course.
I get it.
But
if you keep all those other guys that you want to keep,
he could be a better Jonathan Hankins, man. He could plug up them gaps. But the thing is, we're not. Our division isn't really run heavy no more. Like back in the day when it used to be with playing against like the Terrell Davises and all that.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Harbaugh might try to make it.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, Harbaugh might try to come back to that. So we might have to take a look at it, because
there's talks about Harbaugh getting Saquon.
Is that they've been talking about that?
Yeah, they've been talking about trying to figure that out. That could end up being a tag and trade if you really think about it. Let's say you tag Saquon, you're New York, then you trade. I don't know. New York might want Joey Bosa. Boom.
But what do you do with Eckler though? Eckler still wants a bag.
Yeah, Eckler's he's not getting re-signed by the Chargers, man. He's done, because they're going to draft Blake Corum. I've been saying that unless we reach for him, I know Harbaugh's going to reach for him. And that fifth pick in the third round, he's getting Blake Corum, man. So I don't see Blake Corum going in the second anyways. I mean, it's crazy.
Is Eckler a free agent?
Yeah, Eckler's a free agent.
Oh, damn. That's going to be nice to get him out of the division.
Yeah.
He's killed us.
He might. There's talks that Telesco might offer him a little bit to come to us if he wants to just win and stick it to the Chargers.
Yeah. Me personally, I like Eckler a lot.
Okay.
I like Eckler a lot.
Would you take Eckler for a nice little 2-year, $5 million each?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Easy, right? Easy.
Yeah,
because they can guarantee him something like that.
Because the thing is, I'm not big on Zeus like a lot of you guys are. I'm not that big on Zeus. I mean, Zeus.
You didn't like that he ran 100 yards every game for 4 days.
Well, no. He did good towards the end of the season. I just don't like his running style. It reminds me of like a Justin Fargas, which I love Justin Fargas, but it's like that lack of vision. I just don't know. He has to just show me more. That's all. He got to show me more.
Okay.
I don't
All
dislike him. I'm just not high. Like everyone thinks he could just walk in and be a running back one if we don't bring Jacobs back. I just disagree there. I don't think he's RB1 material. At least not yet.
The only pushback I'll give you on that one, Chris, is depending on the line, because Zamir White has not had the offensive line yet that could prove how good he really is. That's the only thing I'll say.
But our offensive line's not good. I mean, even when Jacobs had that career year, I don't like PFF that much, but according to PFF, he had the most what they say, missed tackle. It was like the missed tackle rate. Jacobs had the highest missed tackle rate. Like he caused missed tackles. But with Zeus, like if he has an opening, he'll find it and he's explosive. But man, like trying to make him break tackles in the backfield, and then I don't know if he has that.
Okay, that's fair. No, it's fair to say. I like Zamir White. I think that we're going to do good things with him. And then I'm also not really that low yet on Britton Brown. I want to see how good he really becomes after he's injured, because he looked pretty good in college, man. He wasn't terrible. So we still have him, and he wasn't injured. All right.
Now I was going to be excited about him if we kept what's his name as our running back coach, but he went back to UCLA. What was his name?
You're talking about Deshaun Foster.
Yeah, he went. Yeah, because he coached him.
So you're telling me you don't like Cadillac Williams, man? I love that pick.
No, I loved Cadillac as a player. I loved him.
No. As a coach, man. As a coach.
What all did he do as a coach?
Okay, so all right, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. The reason why Cadillac Williams, in my opinion, got hired is he was the guy that galvanized the Auburn community when they had to fire that dude who was the head coach. I'm forgetting his name right now. And then he took over as interim. And because he took over as interim,
he was the interim head coach?
It calmed down the entire Auburn, like boosters and the community, and everybody loved them.
How they do? Did they do good?
I mean, come on, man. Come on. Right?
Yeah.
But what he did was, as a personnel head coach, he was able to kind of get everybody to hunker down. And then they didn't hire him as the full-time head coach, which was their mistake. They made the error. They let some other dude do. And that's why he ended up leaving just earlier this year. But other than Bo Jackson, this guy is the greatest running back ever coming out of Auburn, right? And when he got picked number 5 overall, can you imagine being the 5th overall pick with Tampa Bay? I don't know if you remember, man. You know how
I remember them.
You remember it, right?
I remember
Cadillac. You know how everybody's like
Gruden got him, right?
Probably like Rundown. If Rundown's still here, you're probably talking about like how good Devin A-Chain is. Devin A-Chain ain't shiz compared to Cadillac Williams when Cadillac Williams came out, man. Cadillac Williams, I think one game ran for like 200 and some yards.
Cadillac was cool. But I'm trying to think though. Did he come after or before Ronnie Brown? Ronnie Brown was nice. I liked Ronnie Brown. Or was he on the same
Ronnie
team?
Brown was nice. Yeah. Did he come after? I think he came after.
I can't remember because when you say best running back besides Bo Jack, I remember Ronnie Brown was nice too.
No, I'm just giving you stats because on the stats lines for sure,
better numbers.
He's had more yardage. He has all the he has every single award,
all the accolades
that second to Bo Jackson, basically.
Okay. So. Yeah, and I remember when he came out. In fact, wasn't it Gruden that drafted him? Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think Gruden drafted
him for Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
He had the whole man, I'm forgetting the name of the Rams quarterback or the Rams running back who was amazing from like 2017, 2018.
Gurley?
Yes, Todd Gurley. Yeah, so he had the same issue, like the knee thing, kind of. So he did great. He won the offensive rookie of the year in 05. So anyways, my whole thing about Cadillac Williams is I think he brought him in because he has prior head coaching experience. He understands building a community. He's kind of like he kind of went through like a college trial version of what AP just went through.
Yeah.
and everybody in Auburn loves him. So not only will he be good for recruiting on that side too, but as a running back coach, I think he's really going to take both Josh Jacobs, Zamir White, Britton Brown, and whoever else we get later on when I do a running back show. So, you know, I'm high on him. I'm high on him.
Yeah.
Not to get off track, but I want to bring this name up because, you know, I love this guy. He was my, if I don't get Murphy and I don't get Sweat, and I kind of had him equal with Sweat. I might even take him over Sweat, but I did like what he did at the combine. I love him. Love his dad. Chris Jenkins, Michigan, at number 44.
I really like Chris Jenkins. He has
I liked him over Newton. There are people who thought I was crazy that I like Chris Jenkins more than Johnny Newton, but Chris Jenkins is bigger. He's kind of hard to deal with. Like he's just hard to deal with.
He's no, I like him just because he literally, when you watch him, he collapsed the pocket. Like he literally collapsed the pocket. And I saw him do it against some good players in the Big Ten. I mean, people don't realize that Michigan D line was just so, like, you know, like I said, you watch what they did against Alabama and them, like they killed Alabama, man. The whole game, they were just all, and you saw what they did to poor
Washington.
Michael Penix, man. Yeah, I mean, I felt bad.
He made Penix look bad, dude. He made Penix look terrible.
Oh, I'm like, I felt bad. At certain point, I'm like, man, just, you know, lay off of me, man. I mean, the dude was holding his I mean, Penix was in pain dealing with them guys, but Chris Jenkins he's a leader on that defensive line. The boy can play. I don't know why he's not getting more buzz.
He's getting buzz from me. On the combine, they're saying that you know, again, the dad thing helps, right? But he is a monster. At the combine, he ran 4.91. His split was 1.7, which was right there with Byron Murphy. He's 6'3", 300 pounds, but again, he collapses the pocket. It's different. Like Byron Murphy is like Aaron Donald, but smaller.
Yeah.
Chris Jenkins is like kind of like a new version of his dad, like a better, faster version of his dad, almost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Almost like like a Seymour kind of, man. Like a game, like a Seymour type game, but he collapsed the pocket.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I want to bring that up. And then there was this one guy that I want to bring up to you, and I don't know if you've seen him yet. He did well, and my comp for him is Matabuke. I think we could steal him in the fourth. He's one of my sleepers that if people pass up on him, his name is Rook Oro from Clemson. He's from Nigeria.
Yeah, I'm not
6'4", 295. He ran the 40, 4.89. But his 10-yard split was 1.67. That was faster than anyone else's. So he's got that quick burst.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him. I'd have to watch his tape too. So I can't speak I can't speak, in detail about him. But I might have to check him out. You say he's from Clemson?
Yeah, Clemson, Rook, Oro, and I think we could steal him in the fourth or the fifth. I think he was going to go day 3 anyways. So
okay. Yeah, I would. I have to watch him because I don't like speaking on like people that I haven't watched enough, but the people that I have watched, I speak very confidently on them.
All right, good. Because then this is what I was saving. I'm glad we got to this part. All right, so we've got 90 minutes. We covered the trenches. We kind of covered it all, right? Like, depending on what happens on free agency, depending on are we addressing the D line in free agency, and if we do, then that means you already know how we're picking. If we address the O-line in free agency, then you already know how we're picking, right?
Yeah.
But let's pretend that we semi-address both the O-line and the D-line because dropping Jimmy G, then, we eat 17. I was working the number. I like doing this on Over the Cap. So for some of you nerds out there, I like doing this. But I worked it to where we could get our money already above 50 million, but we can really get it way up there to 70 million by doing things like getting rid of Renfro and Garoppolo and doing some restructures. Because I was thinking about going to Devontae Adams and asking him, hey, man, be a lifelong Raider, but can we restructure your contract? Stuff like that, right? But anyway,
we can
so
wait.
check this out.
We can wait and do his next year though. Next year we can restructure. He's
Okay,
not that
all right,
bad
all
this
right.
year though. Is he? What's his
24
number?
million. It's 24 million.
Yeah, so
It's
that's
24
not too
million.
bad. But next year, oh, we gotta
Yeah, no, we gotta restructure.
We gotta
next
chop
year.
that up. Yeah.
Yeah. So check this out. For all you people who've been hating me, you've just been hating on the fact that I've said, do not trade the farm to get Jane Daniels. I've now come to a point where I have watched so much tape on Jane Daniels, Chris, that I do like him. I'm not going to lie. Jane Daniels can be generational. I can see that. I can see it. Oh, hold on. Let me do my thing.
No,
all right. I can see the generational part. I still, like, every time I watched all these tapes, man, I fell in love with Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors more, which just showed me, like, well,
they get open. They get open.
You know what I mean? Like, if I took Drake May and I gave him Brian Thomas and you know, like, how good would Drake May look, right? If I gave the same two receivers to Caleb Williams, would Caleb Williams really be that much higher, right? But I didn't want to hate on Jane Daniels because I'm like, you know what? I'm rewatching this Alabama game, and even though they took you out, and even though in the second half it made you look bad that you couldn't really take them hits that well, that first half he sure looked like a problem for Alabama.
No, he did.
Which showed me like what my ceiling would be, right? So my ceiling for Jane Daniels is Lamar Jackson. Okay. One of the reasons why I didn't want to trade, you know, what Hondo Carpenter was talking about, 3 firsts, 3 seconds to go get him. Like, that's stupid, man. We're literally just going to be the Panthers forever, and we'll never get out the gate if we do something dumb like that. And he'll never really develop. And I didn't want to bring a quarterback in that's because, you know, any quarterback that we pick high this year is going to get the whole Jamarcus Russell talk on his back. It's not their fault, but that's the last time we picked the first round quarterback. Yeah. And people still hate on that. And the fact that he's with LSU and the fact that he's so hyped up, you know, I didn't want him to have to deal with it. So, yeah. But I want to address all my peeps who say, well, you'll just never trade for Jane Daniels. I would. So here's a trade scenario for you, Chris. Okay. I was playing this out. I think that Jane Daniels is gone. I don't think we can go up to second. And the only trade scenario I saw is maybe going up to third. And here's the way I saw it. Let's say JJ McCarthy keeps rising. And then there are talks that he might be the number 3 best quarterback going off the board. And then I texted you that I hope Drake May kills it in his pro day. Because then Drake May might be the number 2. And now you got this whole talk between McCarthy and Jayden Daniels. If free agency happens, there is a rumor going around right now. You guys could look it up if you want. There's a rumor that the Patriots might offer Baker Mayfield enough money to be their guy. And if they do, they're going to use that number 3 pick to get Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, I want you to play this board out. That means that if they're going to pick Marvin Harrison Jr., let's just pretend in this imaginary world, you already know the Cardinals aren't getting Jane Daniels. You already know the Chargers aren't getting Jane Daniels. The only team that would go get Jane Daniels at this point, I think, would be the Giants. Because if you're the Giants, even with Daniel Jones, you'd just be stupid not to take someone like him, right?
Yeah. So
let's say Cardinals say to us, no, we're not trading with you because we want to go get Malik Neighbors now, or we want to go get Joe Alt at this point. Right? Let's say Joe Alt goes off the board because they want to have the 2 bookends with Paris Johnson and Joe Alt. It goes to 5.
Yeah.
To the Chargers. Here's my trade scenario for the Chargers. You ready? Okay. First of all, nobody knows the Chargers cap space and all that and all the talents and everybody that's good better than Telesco. Okay?
That's true.
And by the way, I forgot to mention to you because we didn't talk about linebackers, but I think Telesco is going to go get Kenneth Murray, who's an unrestricted free agent. I like Kenneth Murray a lot. I like him a lot.
I don't know if you've been
Madden,
here.
By the way, he looks pretty good too.
I've been trying to tell everybody, man, don't sleep on that pick. Like let AP get his hands on him. The dude can still be good.
And Telesco draft
and he's ascending. Like he's been ascending, you know. So He hasn't
Telesco
lived up to
drafted.
the hype, but he's been ascending.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you guys hear on March 11th we just signed Kenneth Murray to like a $4 million a year type deal.
I can see it all day.
He's good. Yeah, no, Kenneth Murray's good. So, anyways, here's the whole thing. Telesco's gonna know this. So here's my trade. Harbaugh, you're new. I'm new. We know where we're trying to go. You need picks, but what you need more too is you need help. Now, I know you're a builder, Harbaugh. I know you're a builder. You need picks, but you need help with the cap room. So here's my trade to you. I'm going to go up to 5. I want 5. I'm going to give you number 13. So we're swapping. Okay. I'm not going to give you any other picks this year because you're going to hurt me now. I don't want to get hurt. I'm going to give you my number 2 next year, my number 1 the year after that. So I'm giving you the 2025 number 2. I'm giving you the 2026 number 1. I'm also going to give you my 2026 number 3. But here's my kicker that I want to try to throw out at you. If I'm Telesco and I'm dealing with this, Harbaugh, you can't afford Khalil Mack, man, because he's hurting you guys worse. And you got to get rid of him anyways. And by doing that, by trading Khalil Mack, you're going to save $23 million on your own. But you still got to eat some of that money. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you Renfro. You're going to give me Mack. The difference, Chris, when I did the math, when we give up Renfro, we got to eat 5.8. Okay. But we're saving like 8 mil. When we take Mack, we're taking on 17. So really, we saved 8 to take on 17. We're only taking on an extra 9. I want you to look at it this way. We're essentially taking on Khalil Mack at an extra 9 million that we weren't thinking about. Okay.
And then losing Renfro.
All right. Contract. So that's part of the trade. That's why I didn't want to give you. That's one of the reasons why I don't think I need to give you the number 1 for 2025. I'm giving you the number 2, but I'm giving you Renfro, which is a serviceable. And Renfro's the type of guy that Harbaugh would like to work with too. He's not terrible. All right. He's an older lad McConkey. All right. Come on. He's he played a lot of Clemson games against Harbaugh back in the day. All right. So he's going to remember Renfro. I'm going to do that switch. You give me Mack. I give you Renfro. Okay. That's that. And then I gave you a 1st and a 3rd in 2026. That's 2 picks. I gave you a 2nd in 2025, and I gave you a 1st, all to move up to number 5 so I can go get Jane Daniels. Now, are you hating me? And I'm going to let you talk for a while on this one, because the reason why I didn't want to give up the 2025 first is because I think no matter what, even if we draft Jaden Daniels, we're going to have to sit him like Patrick Mahomes was with Alex Smith. We got to sit him, beef him up, and it worked for Patrick Mahomes. So we let AOC go ahead and be the quarterback. It's kind of like the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes thing over again. So I don't want to give up a 1st rounder for 2025. But by the time we get to 2026, just like Patrick Mahomes, I'll give you the 1st. I'll give you the 1st and the 3rd at that point, because I'm a playoff, possible Super Bowl contender, AFC championship team at that point. So that, at least that's my future thinking if everything goes right. And remember, I caveated this by saying we used free agency to address
both offense
and defense. It trenches. So now you tell me.
Yeah, like with me, man. For one, I flat out, I don't need Khalil Mack. I don't. I'd rather let Malcolm Kuntz continue to develop. If I needed another like dominant edge rusher, I'd go get Josh Allen or somebody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
I know. I know.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
And plus,
not only that, they were giving up like a 1st round. Like, to me, I'd be out. I get where you're coming from. I just don't. For one, I don't like Khalil Mack like that. And then
you can't see Khalil Mack and Robert Spillane working together like Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. That's the way I saw it. Think about Khalil Mack sacked us 6 times last year.
Yeah,
in one game.
but to me, I think Khalil Mack will be more where Kuntz is. I mean, that's where I envision him. You know, like I don't think that I don't see Mack as like a true linebacker. You know,
Okay.
I mean, maybe in a 3-4 setup, you know, he'll be outside backer. But still, he's going to put his hand. I mean, no, he won't put his hand in the dirt, but he's going to be blitzing and stuff like that. But I gotta say I'm out on that one.
Okay. All right.
I love that it was well thought out, but me personally, I rather
Okay.
build what we got.
So
And
then
giving
in
up the
order,
first round pick, I'm just not interested.
okay, how about then we take away the Mac thing? We can't give them Renfro at this point because it just
To
hurts
me, they
the
wouldn't
cap.
take Renfro. They would.
You
I
don't
can't
think they'd
see.
take Renfro?
I don't think so because
Okay.
even thinking about, I don't even know if that's not even a Harbaugh type of receiver, honestly. Like
Okay.
Harbaugh's gonna try to get double tight ends. Harbaugh's gonna get another fullback. Like he's gonna want some speed out there. But I don't. To me, Renfro needs to go to New Orleans. Honestly,
Well,
that's where
yeah.
he needs to go.
I'm trying to move us up. So then here's one for you then. I want Jaden Daniels and I want him bad. Right. I'm pretending like the Angelo that everybody wanted me to be back in November. Okay. So then I'm like, oh man, the Patriots just took Marvin Harrison. I go to the Cardinals and I say, all right, man, I'm not playing around. I'm gonna give you my first this year, my first next year, my first the year after that, my second the year after that, on the same year. So the 2026 first and second. I'm giving you my 2024 first, my 2025 first, and I'm gonna give you Hunter Renfro. Just for your pick today. For number 4.
We're trading who?
I'm trading with Arizona now.
Arizona for
So
Hunter Renfro and 3 firsts
and a second in 2026. 3 first, a second, and Renfro.
So that's the thing. I just can't give up all that. And honestly, I like Jaden Daniels, but to give up all that, Jaden Daniels don't give me that same feel that like Andrew Luck gave me. He don't give me that same feel that that Trevor Lawrence gave me or Peyton Manning. Like, you know, like those certain quarterbacks when they come out, like I like Jaden Daniels. If he fell on my lap or if he started dropping, I would think about it. Yeah. And I wasn't at first, I was like, let's trade the farm. But after like looking at what else is out there, I just don't think I can do it, man.
So again, I want to repeat this on record again for the crowd. I was the guy that kept telling everybody we don't trade the farm.
You were.
From like the last so many months, and I got so much hate. And now everybody's coming around. So I'm just trying to play devil's advocate now.
It just got too expensive for me, man. It just got too expensive for me. You know, that's the thing. And again, I like Jaden, and I know he wants to be a Raider. But after like watching some film on some of these guys in the trenches, man, it's easy to get excited. It's easy to get excited, man. Like if we knock out, because the thing is, a lot of people are like trade the picks, and usually I would be like that. But then
a lot of people
I don't think we have the same front office as we did when we had Mayock, when we may use that first round pick for what's his name, who just got caught with meth. What's his name? Damon Arnett.
Arnett. Oh yeah.
He just got caught with meth. Like, like we're not gonna I don't think Telesco's gonna waste a draft pick on some guys like that. Like he usually hits on his early draft picks.
He does.
So I think looking at that first round draft picks is a lot different now than what it used to be. Like we're not gonna get no more Alex Leatherwoods, you know. So that's how I look at it.
All right. Here's one then. Arizona says no matter what, they weren't going to trade it because they want to get Joe Alt, right? I get to the Chargers. This is one of the reasons why I want to talk about this, because you know Harbaugh better than any of us, man. You watched him grow. You watched how he built the program. You know how he thinks. So, Chris, you're Harbaugh, and I'm Telesco. And I say to you, I want the number 5 pick, man. I'm going to give you the first this year. Okay? Now, keep in mind, I already addressed semi-addressed offense and defensive tackle when I say this. I'm going to give you my first this year, my third this year. I'm going to give you my first next year, and I'm going to give you my first and third the year after that. You're going to get 3 firsts and 2 thirds. The third this year, that's number 77. And I'm going to give you the third. That's 5 picks. I'm going to give you the third for 2026.
This is too much.
But I want the number 5 because I want to go get Jaden Daniels. What are you saying to me?
I can't. I mean, I think Harbaugh will absolutely do it. Harbaugh will do it. Yeah, Harbaugh.
So in a second, in a flat second.
Yeah, Harbaugh.
You being Harbaugh, you take it. Would you take something less than that? If I said to you, if you're Harbaugh, because I wanted to get the Harbaugh train of thought.
Yeah, if I'm Harbaugh.
If I said Harbaugh, okay, let's start with the minimum. Hey, Harbaugh, I'm Telesco, you're Harbaugh. Hey, man, I'm serious about getting to 5. I'm going to give you my number 1 this year, my number 1 next year, my number 1 the year after that. 3 ones. What do you say, Harbaugh?
You say just 3 ones?
Just 3 ones. Come on. We're on the clock, Harbaugh. We got like 8 minutes to make this decision. This is like the movie draft.
Honestly, Harbaugh probably would. I really think he would, man.
Really? 3 ones?
Because
I'll take. Okay, so then
let
you really think he'll just take the 3 ones and he won't care?
I mean, because because he's in a position, especially with cap space, like he has to build through the draft right now because he can't really do much of free agents. So he would love them picks, man, especially in this year's draft. Like, we don't want to give Harbaugh those picks because one thing about Harbaugh, he's going to build. It's going to take a while, but we don't want to just give him these picks to do it, man. I'm saying no.
So as Chris Kimber, you're saying no.
Yeah, but Harbaugh's. I think Harbaugh will say yes. Harbaugh will say yeah. I think.
But Chris Kimber is saying no. So then, what is the most you're willing to? Oh, and before I do this, because I want this is going to be the final question, anyways. Please, guys, if you like the show and you like the content, you guys know I love Chris. We got great chemistry. But if you guys like this show tonight, please, man, press subscribe, press them like buttons. And then whenever I go on Protect the Shield, I want to see all y'all pressing them likes and pressing them subscribe buttons, So, but yeah, my final question then is, what are you willing to give up, Chris? Knowing Harbaugh, the way you know Harbaugh, you know what he's willing to take. What is the deal you're willing to give Harbaugh that might actually hit if we're moving up from 13 to 5?
So I don't know. Like I just know Harbaugh from just like seeing him build the Michigan program. So
exactly.
Yeah. So it's like I can't say that I know how he values picks in the NFL level. So, but I'm just saying, knowing like what he likes, like he loves this type of draft. Like this is his type of draft. So if he can get any kind of like, I guarantee he's gonna take phone calls because this is his type of draft. Like getting the big nasties, building up the line. Like even when he would go out recruiting, like those are the first people he would recruit. He's recruiting tight ends and he's recruiting offense and defensive linemen. Like that. Like we would always hear, okay, he's looking at this 4-star recruit, this 5-star recruit. Like that's who he's spending his time with. So, so I don't know. So, but to answer your question, like, so you're asking, like, what?
Yeah, I'm asking you. What would you get? You're going to be.
What would I give Harbaugh?
Yeah, because you know Harbaugh. You know how Harbaugh thinks. So what is the most Chris is willing to give up? What is the format? Because every time I give you an offer, like if I tell you right now, I'm gonna call you up, you're Harbaugh, and you're gonna say yes. I'm gonna go, look, man, I don't want to give up like the future, but I'll give you my first this year, I'll give you my second this year, I'll give you my first next year, and I'll give you my second next year. As Harbaugh, you'd probably say yes, but as Chris Kimber, are you willing to give up 2 firsts, 2 seconds?
I'd probably risk 2 firsts, 2 seconds, but I know that's not gonna happen. But yeah, I'd risk 2 firsts, 2 seconds. So like,
so Chris Kimber would definitely go up to go get Jaden Daniels at 5.
Yeah, so we would flop. So we would flop first round picks this year, and then I'll give them
next year's first, and we got to give back-to-back seconds. So we're only picking 3rd rounders, man, for the next.
I would do it, but but I'd still be hesitant, but I'd probably do it. But
so you're willing to give up first this year, second this year, first next year, second next year. That's 4 picks. We don't pick till third. Could go get Jaden Daniels.
I mean, I would, but again, it's like.
See, you don't even like that one. That's why I want to know.
No, I mean, but I was say it's because I think I'm so past Jaden now. Like I'm just in my mind, it's like I think like, man, does he give me that? And I always go back to the Andrew Luck feel, like guys that I knew were just going to be fucking amazing at the next level. Like there's risk with him, there's risk with Jaden, and that's my thing. If he was more of a clean prospect where like he had the true arm talent that I liked, if he was a little bigger, but what I like about him is like his relationship with AP. I think he is. I think he can play. He's great, but because the thing is, if we somehow swing and miss at this, we got a clean house, man. I mean, Telesco got to go. AP got to go. Like, and again, I don't want to get to the point where we're, having more turnover on our coaching staff.
Okay, so you didn't even really like that, the 2 first, 2 seconds.
Yeah, but I'd probably do that. I'd probably do that though.
I'd probably do that. Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably.
So how about this one? Last thing, your Harbaugh. You're probably going to say yes, and I say to you, I'll give you my next 3 number ones.
Yes.
3 ones. Hold on, I'm not done.
If I'm Harbaugh, yes.
Yeah, I know, but do you think he'll just take it straight up 3 number ones? Because ask Chris Kimber, would you do 3 number ones?
No, I wouldn't. I ain't gonna lie.
You wouldn't do 3 number ones.
I wouldn't.
Even if it means that Jaden Daniels could be the next Lamar Jackson.
I wish I viewed him that way. I just don't. I think he's gonna be a good quarterback, possibly.
So you don't comp him as RG3. You don't comp him as who do you comp him as? Johnny Manziel? I mean, who do you comp him as?
No.
Manziel was pretty good in college, by the way, people, before you go hating on me.
No, honestly, I am one of the few people that definitely did not hate Johnny Manziel. I knew he was like a nutcase, but like I liked
talent wise, bro.
Yeah, I like this game. Because to me, I like quarterbacks with that attitude. Like Baker was the same way. I like Baker. Baker was like a refuse to lose. He got a little arrogance to him. I like that in my quarterback. I like Phillip Rivers for that same reason. I like that arrogance. But okay, if I had to comp him with someone, because it's like he can run, but he has a good enough arm.
Deep ball. He's got deep ball.
Yeah,
good decision making.
So I can see the Lamar, but he's not as explosive as Lamar. But
definitely not. He might be faster into 40 though. But I see what you're saying. Acceleration.
No,
Lamar's.
Lamar's crazy. Yeah. It's almost like he's a almost like a Jalen Hurts, but not as strong.
Jalen Hurts.
Because Jalen,
you know who my low comp for him was? I understand what you're saying, but I actually think, and I know people are going to think I'm crazy for saying this, but I kind of think Jalen Hurts now, after we saw how well he did at the Eagles, of course, everyone's high on him. But when coming out of college, Jalen Hurts to me, honestly, was Bo Nix, man. Like I was just kind of like,
see, I like Jalen. I like Jalen in college.
Okay.
I like.
Well,
Jalen
you saw a lot of them, so
yeah. No, yeah, I like Jalen in college. He was good, and then he lost his job to Tua, but Jalen played some big time ball in Alabama, man. As a youngin, he played some big time ball.
All right. Go ahead.
You know who he kind of reminds me of, but he throws better. Is I know this is gonna sound crazy. almost like a Vince Young. Almost.
Okay, all right. Okay, you're getting
You know what I'm
closer.
saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, but he
what
throws
my
better than
low
Vince
my,
Young.
what my first comp for Jaden Daniels was Randall Cunningham coming out of
Yeah,
college. Randall
yeah,
Cunningham coming out of college. I'm not talking
yeah,
about the whole work of running
yeah,
Candle.
yeah.
I want people to
Yeah,
remember
I can see
what
that.
Randall Cunningham looked like coming
Yeah,
out of college.
yeah, something like that. Something
Yeah.
like that. That's what I'm saying. Like he can move, but like I said, he throws better than Vince Young. Vince Young was kind of inaccurate, but I think Jaden is more accurate than what Vince is or what Vince was.
All right, cool, man. Cool. Well, I got to close it out, but I want to thank you for spending all this time with me. You're awesome. You guys, man, follow Protect the Shield, subscribe to Protect the Shield. Please follow Captain Jack's channel. Again, I'm just manning the ship right now.
You're doing a good job, by the way, man. You're doing a great job, Angelo.
Hey, thank you. I'm doing my best. I got to get to one of them Raider Syndicate shows one of these days because I really want to talk to Turf and Papa Rundown. They're
yeah.
I like Rundown too. So
yeah, that's my dog.
Yeah. So, but no, I want to thank all of you guys. Thank you for all the positive comments. Really appreciate it. Check me out again on Wednesday at 4:30, and then AJ the Raiders hosting it on Thursday at 6, and I'll be coming back again next Sunday at 6. We're going to bring out more content, more energy for you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Chris, thank you so much for coming to the show. And I want you to tell everybody about how do you say the Protect the Shield thing?
Oh, well, which one? You know, I got
the closing for Protect the Shield is always
the closing. Coaches, they come and go, but we must always protect the shield. So that's
there you go, people.
And then also got protect the shield. Well, my opinions might not always be popular, but they'll always be authentic. Well, those are two things I live by, man. Being authentic and protecting the shield right here.
There we go, baby.
Shield always comes first, man.
Thank you, my man. Thank you, guys.